Yeah, the E3 talk will go on for a minute. I wrote down a bunch of notes for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
won't be
there
a
wasn't really.
it
No,
won't
go ahead
be
and finish what you're
yeah
saying.
it won't be a long show tonight.
All right. I don't know what you mean.
Um, I mean, basically, we're going to talk about a couple of things that happened at E3. The fact that Microsoft just came down with a big dick energy, and then leave it at that.
Yeah, they did something recently. I didn't pay attention to what it was.
Yeah.
Was it
Oh,
something to do with PS5?
we're live, by the way. We're in the starting soon screen. I'm just going to run around, make sure it's everywhere.
I would have responded back to the messages yesterday, but when I looked at my phone, I had like 20 missed messages. I was like, shit. I don't see how that happened.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of that myself here recently. Okay, let's see. We are live on Facebook. Let me share it around. Share to a group.
Jamming that music.
Yeah, trying to. Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it, but I just happened to put my cursor over the general, and it says that that you're listening to something.
Oh, hell. All right. Oh, hi, Mom. All right, let's see. Nope. Share to a page. All right, let me see. Make sure we're live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Sweet deal. All right, let's close that down. Make sure I got all my volumes controlled. And I think we're good. All right. Beer check. All right. Can't hear you, Derek. Sorry. TCP.
Mic is now on. Yeah.
There you go.
Might get up a few times to grab a new beer. That's just me just saying.
All right. Solips, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do this. I'm sweating like a stuck pig over here, but hey, let's do this.
Had one of those days yesterday, man.
Whew, humidity here, man. All right, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Griffcast episode 12. Yeah,
12? Yeah.
12. Oh, the nerdy podcast for, immature people. Anyway, we're going to jump right into it tonight. So we're going to be talking about E3. Oh, gosh, we got E3, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, because Sony continues being a prude. And Pax West is coming back. And how to get all new PC parts. Oh, I guess I could pause the music. Boop.
I don't have any music. I'm trying to get some music.
All right. Yeah, so I wrote down a bunch of things about E3, and none of it really matters. Okay, so anyway, You guys been doing anything
Where
out of
we
the norm
wanna
today? You guys want to do a weekly catch up on what we've been doing?
A weekly catch up? Don't you mean like a monthly catch up? It feels like it's been a long time since I've seen y'all.
It's been
It
2
does
weeks.
feel like it's been a minute.
It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, I was in too much pain to do it last week. So,
Physical pain, emotional pain.
oh, physical pain. Physical pain. So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
it's all good. Got bursitis in the hip.
Bursitis, that's a new one. I don't think I'm familiar with bursitis.
So in most of your major joints, your shoulders, your hips, and your knees, there's a little gland that sits on top of the joint so that your muscles can glide over it.
Mm-hmm.
And that gland can become inflamed.
Ooh, yeah.
And
that doesn't sound fun.
yeah,
Sorry.
but hey, it
Sorry to
happens.
make it, to bring up, some personal stuff in the
I mean,
in the cast.
it wasn't
Just a
anything.
little bit of a clinical lesson today.
Thanks.
Yeah, fun times. Fun times. I went and had to get a shot in the butt. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's
Two. Two of them.
Nice little shot in the
Oh,
butt.
man.
It wasn't your
Yeah.
wife doing it this time. It wasn't that.
No. No. Oh.
What I've been doing this week is the Steam summer sale started, and I said, yes, please.
Oh, I bought a couple of things, and I'm just like, I put a bunch of things on a wish list. There's a bunch of things on a wish list. Couldn't tell you what they all are because it's the Steam summer sale, and there's like 40 of them. But
There's a lot of good things. There was a lot
Yeah,
of
there is.
franchises, like entire franchises on it. So like the Tomb Raider franchise, it was on sale like a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about it with like a couple other buddies, and some of them jumped on it, and I'm sitting there like, do I really want to do it? I already have them on PlayStation. I don't know if I'm about it. And then like I waited too long, and the sale for that ended, and I was like, damn. Then that was a Steam summer sale. Like they all went on sale again for like the same exact price, and I was just like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna just do it, just get it over and done with. I was playing it a second before we got in here. I got Red Dead 2 though, man. Red Dead 2 on PC. It's like a
Is it?
completely
There you
different
go.
game than on console. It's a completely different game, man. It looks so.
is it on
beautiful.
sale?
It is on sale. I mean, it was on sale for like $40, but I still.
I don't know about
I mean,
spending
for
40
Rockstar,
bucks.
that's a sale.
Yeah.
For Rockstar, that's a sale, man.
Yeah.
I remember how like
Yeah.
I waited for GTA 5 to go on sale. I was like 8 years later. I was like, are you ever gonna go on sale? You gonna do it? No. And then
That
Epic's
game will
game,
never not be $60.
right? So, but like, yeah, man, Red Dead 2 is like, I thought it was beautiful on console, on the PS4, man. But playing it on PC, I mean, of course, frame rate does help.
Oh yeah.
But like, even so, like bumping it up to Ultra, I'm just like, it's a different game, man. It's beautiful.
I still don't know how I feel about paying $40 to pretend to be a cowboy. So
I was all about it. I was really struggling to find a third-person shooter. Like, I mean, I've been playing like Gears of War and stuff like through Xbox Game Pass, and like that's probably why I jumped on the Tomb Raiders as well. I wanted, like an action adventure third-person game. And I've been wanting Red Dead for a long time. When Epic Games was doing like a bunch of mystery games for a long time, I'm like, they're about to drop Red Dead. I know they are. I know they are. And then they never did. And I was like, fuckers. I wanted them to do it. They're going to do it next week just to piss me off because now they know I've paid money for Red Dead.
yeah, that'll probably be how it goes. That'll be how it goes.
Yeah. Sit back and wait, everybody else. It's going to be about to get Red Dead for free. While I'm sitting there, I'm calling Steam like, yo, can I get my $40 back, please? Can I have a quick question for you?
Yeah.
Should I cover up the markings of my beer can?
I mean, it doesn't bother me any. We're not
I
advertising.
don't know.
I
Are we
don't
not
think
doing
we're important
advertisements?
enough for anyone to care.
Oh, okay. I don't have the rights to this brewery. If you see me like drinking this brewery and you recognize it, they got some good stuff.
I mean, honestly, if someone does give us like a copyright strike, I feel like that would be a sign that someone's actually paying attention to us.
You watched our show.
What about yourselves? I know you've been working on some music here recently, so
Man, that's all I've been doing. I just grind my whole life away doing that, and I feel like that's all I'm gonna do. I'm slowly getting better. I'm slowly getting better. I mean, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into E3, or the lack of E3. So the big companies that were there was, we had Nintendo, Square Enix, Microsoft, and that's all that mattered.
Ubisoft dropped some bombs.
Huh?
I was thinking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft dropped some bombs.
Yeah, but they fell under the Microsoft umbrella, so.
Oh, they did. I didn't watch. I didn't like. I think this is the first year, of course, minus COVID, where they didn't do it. Like, this is the first year. Like, I didn't watch E3. I didn't even watch a second of E3. I feel bad. I feel.
I didn't either. I waited till it was all over, and I just went and looked for highlights.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna scroll through Facebook. Facebook's gonna give me everything anyway.
I didn't really find any highlights myself. I saw 2 trailers that interested me, and I was like, well, that's all that's all I care about. And then after that, I didn't really see anything else.
Yeah, like oh gosh, so like Nintendo came out and they dropped the trailer for the new Metroid, Breath of the Wild 2. I'm guessing that new Guardians of the Galaxy game is coming to the Switch.
Pause.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild 2 dropped?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
For that, actually.
Missed that one. Facebook, you have failed me.
Yeah.
No,
It didn't really show anything on it, though. I don't think it was just
No.
a trailer.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like a 10-second trailer or something like that.
Yeah, maybe not even.
Yeah. So I mean, you got like another 3 years. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I'm guessing the new Guardians of the Galaxy game is coming to the Switch, because I found it in the Nintendo block, even though that's technically. Gosh, who made that?
Who is making that?
It's the same one who did the new Avengers game.
I really
Square
question the
Enix?
quality of those
Yeah,
games
no, it was
anytime I
Square Enix.
see one.
Square Enix. I was actually kind of looking forward to that Guardians game.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned that it was Square Enix and they're kind of like taking the same approach as Avengers.
So they're not. They're not.
I gotta
It's
pause.
different. It's different.
Okay. It looked pretty good. I like the
Yeah,
gameplay
like-
from what I saw.
It'll be single player, no online. It's like it's going back to just being a
Check
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, that game got me interested in maybe looking back at Avengers, because they're getting like 2 expansions this year or something like that. So it's like, I'll look back at it, but I really wasn't intrigued by it in the first place. But the Guardians game, it looked really good.
Yeah. I played it. I played Avengers at launch. I mean, it was kind of fun. Like, I was just, trying to run through it, as myself, just playing solo. But you could still see that it was built to be co-op and have multiple people running around.
Yeah. Let's see, Squaresoft. So they dropped the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. And then they dropped, actually they dropped one bomb that I'm actually kind of excited for. Okay, so they dropped the trailer for Final Fantasy Origin, which is going to be a Dark Souls-esque Final Fantasy game. The trailer they dropped, the dialogue was atrocious. Like
everything was kind of atrocious on that one.
The gameplay looked solid.
Bad.
The gameplay looked solid,
looks
but
okay. It looked like it was clearly an alpha, or pre-alpha stage. I mean, it didn't look very polished at all. They've clearly got a lot to work on. But I don't know. I checked it out for a minute. I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, I mean, like the dialogue, every third word in the trailer was chaos. I'm here to cause chaos and kill chaos, and it's just like it's
Gotta
either
have the
like
themes,
yeah, like there's something got lost in translation, or somebody needs to learn how to write. Like, I wouldn't do any better myself, but the one thing though that Square dropped that I'm kind of excited for is they're going to remaster Final Fantasy 1 through 6 for Steam and mobile.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the first 6 Final Fantasy games, the crap that we grew up on back in the day, going to get remastered.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a bundle. It's not going to be like buy each game individually.
That's more appealing.
Yeah.
But also, like, if it's on mobile, like, I guess, how in depth is it going to be? How big?
I mean, we're talking about games that were on the original Game Boy.
Right.
So, I mean, those games are like 200
So
megabytes.
they're not gonna. You said they're getting a remaster and not a remake, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
which means they're just gonna like
not
polish
the
up the
Final
menus.
Fantasy VII treatment.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just gonna be like polish up the menus, things like that. Maybe look the sprite, make the sprites look a little bit better.
Okay.
Gearbox, they came out. They did a follow up trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Tiny Tina's.
It's the Borderlands game.
Yeah. Well, it will be a standalone game based on characters from the Borderlands franchise. In Borderlands 2, there was a DLC called like Tiny Tina's Escape from Dungeon Keep. I want to say that's what it was called. It's something very similar to that, but it was the most fun expansion I've played in most anything. So the fact that they're going to be basing an entire game off of that expansion, I'm cool with.
I'll assume it's still like the same basic gameplay and everything, right? You know, shooter and whatnot.
Yeah, it'll be a shooter. I don't know if it'll be first or third person this time, because they're talking about being able to like fully customize your character and like build your own guns and like become a weapon master. Like it's going to be like an actual RPG. It's going to be more of an RPG than an action shooter.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at.
I hadn't heard any of that.
Yeah. And then Microsoft just came swinging out the freaking gate. You got Starfield, Back for Blood, Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, Age of Empire 4, Forza 5, Redfall, Far Cry 6, and Riders Republic with Ubisoft.
I mean,
So
Republic looks good.
other than Forza 5 and Halo Infinite, it just sounds like a lot of other publishers are just just using the momentum of Microsoft's conference, because all those games are cross-platform in generation, except for Infinite and Forza.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I'm always a little biased when we talk about Microsoft, but I still respect Microsoft and some of the stuff they're doing. Forza 5 does look stupid beautiful. Forza 5 looks crazy.
So like, I'm actually curious about the new Halo. It looks pretty good. This might be the first Battlefield that I actually try. Like,
this might be the first Battlefield I don't buy.
Really?
Yeah.
Redfall has me curious. So Redfall is going to be a action RPG shooter where you just run around shooting vampires all day. Far Cry 6 will be at launch will be Xbox exclusive.
At launch?
At launch.
How do they manage that?
It's messed up. I have a free code for Ubisoft, or I mean not Ubisoft. Well, Ubisoft, but for Far Cry 6.
Or it'll be a console launch exclusive. I don't know if that will include PlayStation, but yeah, it's going to
PlayStation has it available as pre-order on the console. So I mean,
they announced
shortly after, I would imagine.
Yeah, they announced a release date for all platforms. It's October or something. 19th? Why do I want to say 19th?
Then maybe what I read was misinformed.
Yeah, I don't think
possibly.
they're doing they might do a timed exclusive, just like give it out on Xbox like a week before. But if it's anything, I don't see it being, a too big of a margin. Plus, I can wait another week since the game's original release date was back in February.
Right, yeah, true.
Yeah, there's that. Riders Republic actually looks really fun. That might be one of those games that you just get on and just have fun with it. Like,
yeah, it's one of those games you don't have to take too seriously.
I mean, it's got freaking everything in it. Like, from like rally racing to skydiving to biking, like every extreme sport is in that damn game.
Wingsuit, get snowboarding. It literally had everything you could think of.
Yeah.
But as long as it's arcadey, that's what I want.
But
I'm not interested in playing a realistic game with all that crazy stuff.
You don't like simulation games too much?
I like simulation games, but that's not what I want to play with this. I want this to just be a game where I can just build up points and just be very careless and not really care about what I'm doing too much, and just feel awesome at the same time. You know?
Oh, kind of like the Pro Skater format.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want something like
Yeah.
that.
Pro Skater is wild. I love like how you could be like in a bowl, like a swimming pool, and like you could just like fly around the pool,
Oh
like
yeah,
not leave the borders, even though you're in midair. It's just like
yeah, it's super ridiculous.
But yeah, outside, I mean, like the one thing though that besides like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like nothing really has me excited. Like I'm curious about
Really?
Redfall. Like I'm curious about Redfall. Like it looks like an original concept. Um, but outside of that, like I'm curious about other things, but nothing has me excited.
I'm excited for a lot of that, I guess. I mean, you got me. I really don't know much about Redfall, and I didn't know much about what was it, Outsiders? No, oh. What was the extreme sport one that you said?
Oh, Riders
forget the name.
Republic.
Riders
Yeah,
Republic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't that excited for it because I forgot the name of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
just
sounds
see the
good.
trailer.
Yeah, Forza 5 is gonna be good. As much as I think Halo is just milking every bit of the Xbox, and that's like the only thing keeping Xbox alive.
See,
I mean, kind of look forward to playing
I'm
it.
of the opposite of opinion right now. Like in my like with what I'm perceiving, like Sony's failing left and right, and Xbox is just cleaning house.
You said Sony is failing left and right. We'll come back. We'll circle back to that one later.
Oh yeah, we will.
Anyway,
I think maybe in certain areas, but not all.
Not all,
Uh,
but not all.
I
Yeah.
think the greatest thing that Xbox is doing right now is that Game Pass.
Yeah,
I am still, fully on board the Game Pass. I'm glad I still have it, and and then when Forza and even
yeah. So that's the thing
when
though.
Halo drops.
About like Starfield, Back for Blood, Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, Redfall, potentially Forza.
Starfield looks so dope.
does.
I love space. You can just sell me on space.
And I'm not sure about Far Cry or Forza, but all of those titles are going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah. I don't think Far Cry is going to be on Game Pass.
It wouldn't surprise. I mean, not at first anyway. Like they might wait like a couple of months, but
No, I don't even think even now.
no,
Because none of the other Far Cries are on Game Pass.
fair enough.
Who did? Or they're Ubisoft. So yeah, none of the other Far Cries are on Game Pass.
Okay.
But
But
out
like,
of all those games, there's one that you didn't mention that I'm personally looking forward to that they finally showed details on, and that's Elden Ring.
oh
You guys
right,
really watch anything on
right.
that?
I watched a little bit on it.
I mean, for people who are into the Dark Souls series, and it's basically the next Dark Souls, but it's like it looks like so much more.
From what my understanding, because all right, there's a lot of things I'm curious about for that because one of the writers for it is George Martin.
That's what I was thinking about. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like one of the story writers is George Martin. It's got the guy who did all the Dark Souls behind it. Like it has a lot going for it. But when you have a game that has a lot going for it like that, a lot of times they just crash.
It has a
Well-
lot of room for failure.
Yeah.
I can understand why you think that, but I think anyone familiar with the series, I mean, it's going to be more focused on the gameplay. Like if you're wanting to play that game for a great story, then don't play that game
Fair enough.
because you're probably not going to get what you're looking for out of that game. Like those games are just meant to be brutal, and that's
Well, see, my understanding for this one is it's going to be less brutal, a little bit more story than the Dark Souls franchise. Because this is a
they're
this
just
is a
saying that to draw you in.
well, this is going to be a
They're just bullshitting you.
this is going to be a standalone outside of that universe, right?
To some degree, yes.
So
It'll have loose connections, but it is technically its own standalone thing.
okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna look more into that one because I need something to play. I got Game Pass going, and like all my all my clans on everything that I was doing are just dispersed. So, like, I'm just running around doing nothing.
The market feels very dry to me right now. It's
Yeah.
been like that way for, since February almost.
Speaking of dry, let's start on this next one here. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance.
Man, did you get that one?
I did. It's on Game Pass, so I got to play it for free.
Well, there you go.
Pulls up Game Pass?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. So it's
Seen a lot of the reviews so far. What's your personal opinion?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. That's right. I remember right now.
Yeah, because it was coming out the following week of the last. It was coming out the week after the last show. So, yeah. So there's good and bad about it. It's not a lot of good. The good is it's kind of fun. That's where the good ends.
The fact you said kinda.
Kinda.
Okay. This is, I have a few people that I know I'm going to piss off about this. It is a Dungeons and Dragons PG-13 reskinned of Vermintide. And it wasn't even done well.
That's what I've heard a lot of the reviews say about it.
So here's my... Okay, I'm going to say this. If you enjoy the Legend of Drizzt series and you love those characters and you want a semi-fun hack and slash RPG, it's worth it. I mean, brand new, it's $40. So you know what you're walking into when a game is brand new at $40.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, but here's a lot of the things that they did wrong. One, they set the entire game up to be multiplayer. You can play solo, but the entire game is set up to be multiplayer. But when you play with other people, it causes server instability. So, and then when you play solo and you load up a mission, it's random how hard those enemies are going to hit on that map. Because
Random?
No balancing.
yeah, there's a glitch that you can walk into. You can walk up into an encounter, and you'll either one shot your target, or your target will turn around and one shot you.
Like a real roll of the dice.
Like it's
I see what you did there.
And then there's another glitch where you can walk straight up into a goblin encampment and they won't aggro until you hit them.
Yeah, I saw that in one of the reviews too.
It's awkward.
Yeah. There's another glitch that if you are on elevation and doing ranged attacks on things, they will not aggro to you. And they'll continue on with their own dialogue as if nothing is happening.
Awesome. That sounds super immersive.
I'm going through the Game Pass reviews right now, and they are just
Pretty rough.
slaughtering in this game. Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of comparison because the closest game to this, like I said, is Vermintide. All right. In this, there's people trying to do build videos. There is no builds. There are no character RPG builds in this. You can unlock everything. The only thing you could do, you get access to 4 abilities for every character, and you get 2 of them at all times. All right. Plus your super, but the supers are mostly weak. They have utility, but not really worth it half the time. Mm-hmm. But that's your entire build is your 2 abilities. They have armor sets in the game that to get anything out of them, you have to equip the entire 8 pieces, which fills up every single inventory slot, and they're not worth it half the time. Like one of the sets is like, you get 10% reflex damage. woohoo.
Seems kind of amazing that they released it in that state.
Yes and no. So, like, with most, this is one thing I've experienced with most Dungeons and Dragons properties, is that when they release a video game, you can expect subpar.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I guess.
Like, the only time that they didn't was, like, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And they still had their issues. But, like I said, like, the gameplay loop is fun. Like, the gameplay loop itself is fun. All right. But, like, the comparison between this and Vermintide is that, okay, in this, if you want to play the game the way it was intended, you have to get a full party together. You can do, like, random pickup groups, but the game's about exploration, and when you do a pickup group, they want to speed run everything. Like, get to the boss, kill the boss, over, done. But the loot is in chests that are hitting in alternate pathways. So, you got to deal with that. In Vermintide, when you play solo, it fills the rest of your party up with bots. And those bots use your characters. So all the work you put into your characters become part of your party.
That was dumb, but that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. And the AI on the bots is really good. Actually, try keeping up with them. Like, just load up Vermintide, load up a normal mission, and try to keep up with your bots. They stand behind you the entire time. You will have a hard time outpacing them on what they do. Like, so, like, I wanted to like Dark Alliance. I really did. Like, I was fighting and arguing with myself to like this game, and I just couldn't do it. So, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Oh, that sounds generous.
Yeah.
So,
everyone on Game Pass has got an average score of 2 out of 5.
yeah. Like, and the only reason I'm letting it go that high is because the initial gameplay loop itself is fun. Like, I like the setup. The setup is great. The dialogue is great. The characters are great. Even a lot of the animations, the combat animations, that's great. It's just there's a lot they need to work out. From abilities just turning off to enemy AI to just the random RNG if an enemy's going to one-shot you or not. Like, I've cranked, like, I am saying this from the fact that I have maxed out a character. All right, I have maxed out a character and I have soloed the highest difficulty.
In Dark Alliance?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I have a level 20 Brunar. Like, I am not saying this, like, my review is from putting time into it. It's my review is not from, like, and this game is shit from playing it for 20 minutes. Like, I put hours into it. And, yeah, like, unless I get a bunch of people that just want to hop in there and have some fun, I'm not going to be picking it back up. But this is going to lead into our next topic here. It is crossplay everywhere but with Sony. Because Sony.
Oh.
Of course.
I wonder why that is.
So, yeah, this is my Sony continues to be a prude rant.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did Sony not allow this to be crossplay with anything else, Borderlands 3 just went full crossplay except with Sony. Because Sony. You know, it's just like...
Sony. I get it. Back in the day, I understood why they did it. Now
it's different now.
Now it's a little bit different. You're kind of like just being that guy. Don't be that guy.
Yeah,
just,
they're definitely being that guy.
you gotta break, man. And I think it's time.
They really do.
Just let it go.
Gosh, like, I understand, I do, but everybody else is trying to work with them, you know? Like, even Microsoft has been reaching out. They're like, we want to work with you, but
So, like, at first, like, so now how I'm seeing it, at first, they were doing it to, like, hey, if you want to play with your friends, you have to buy it on our system. So everyone was buying it on their system so they could play with their friends. Now, everyone's just like, well, if I don't buy it on Sony, then I can play with all my friends. You know?
Yeah, that's.
And
kinda
so
what makes
now,
you think sometimes.
people are like, no. Now I imagine people are just gonna be like, well, I'm just not gonna buy it on. I'm just not gonna buy it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because I can play with all my friends, no matter where I buy it, whether I buy it on Switch, PC, or Xbox. And now you're being that guy, so now you're losing your sales. I mean, like,
it's already hard enough to get a PS5.
Yeah.
You know, let
Sony just likes to play by those Highlander rules.
but it's hard enough to get any new technology right now.
Fair enough.
So you can't leave it at just hard enough to get a
right,
PS5.
right. But like, I'm bringing that up for the fact that you need to give some slack to let your players play with their friends.
Yes.
You know, at least at this point in time. In a couple of years when, most everybody that wants a PS5 will have a PS5. At that point in time, then you can start putting the pulling the reins back. But like,
right, yeah, when you're able to pick and choose what you want because the supply is there. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with doing that. But now, the demand is just
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
plus, I mean, like they're gonna make their stuff back because they're just gonna kill it with the exclusives. Their exclusives are is gonna drive everyone back to their console anyway.
Yeah.
So when you have these games that come out on multiple platforms, there's no point in trying to hinder them for the features. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always gonna have those games.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to their exclusives. I want to see what's going to happen at this year's Sony's press conference. Like the fact that they didn't show up to E3 kind of has me a little worried.
That's not new.
I know it's not new, but maybe they'll show up at PAX West. So, fun fact. Speaking of which, PAX West is coming back as an in-person event this year in September. They're actually going to be doing a full-on expo this year. So, I think they'll be one of the first ones to do it this year. Maybe we'll actually
was E3 this year not in person?
Nope, it was digital.
100% digital?
As far as I saw. As far as I saw.
I imagine they would still have like a little bit of in-person, just like, more VIP than it already is.
Yeah.
I mean, you still need, even E3 in the past, you still need an invitation to get in.
Yeah, you need an invitation and or a press pass. Yeah. So, I mean, like, but I'm kind of curious because they've already canceled BlizzCon this year too. So, I don't know, but it's Activision, so who knows what they're up to besides like running out of ways to screw everybody over.
Making it another Call of Duty using the same engine.
Yeah. Yeah. But, all right. We'll go ahead and jump on this last topic here. This one kind of irritates the crap out of me. So, how to get new PC parts. You got to buy a whole new computer on Amazon.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yep.
I mean, why buy the parts when you can just buy the whole damn thing?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's the only way to do it. I mean, I watched a video the other day of this guy explaining like why that's terrible. So like, hope we don't catch over this one, but like, he was calling out companies like Newegg, how like they have the shuffle now. Like, if you want a graphics card, you can get the graphics card through the shuffle. And like after watching his video, like at first I thought, I was like, oh, the shuffle's not a bad deal. I haven't entered it, so I don't know how hard it is, whatever. But I seem like it's a little better chance. And like he broke it down and he slaughtered the shit out of them. I was like, oh. I was like, wow. That really just puts everything in perspective. Because it's like, if you're looking for a GPU, all they have on their shuffle now is just combo parts. Then nothing on there. Like I had a couple people that I was like looking for a PS5. I'm like, hey man, there's a PS5 on Newegg Shuffle, but it's $1,000 because it comes with fucking everything. Yeah. more than you need. Like, you know, a charging station, the remote, the headset, another
Thank you,
controller,
Toasty.
like PlayStation Plus for a year, even if you already have all that stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I just want the console.
Yeah.
Or I just want the GPU. I don't need another motherboard. I don't need another power supply. I don't need, you know,
Yeah, so
64 gigs of RAM. I just want the GPU, bud.
there's a new Intel chip, the GTX 3090, and I think maybe one of the new AMD chips. The only way to get them is to buy full computers on Amazon, which are not even respectable brands. They're Dell and Alienware.
Was the other one cyber something? See, cyber something.
Yeah.
I think they're more through like Best Buy. Best Buy does like some cyberware. I think it's cyberware.
No, it's not cyberware. It's is it iBuyPower?
Ooh, iBuyPower. Yes.
So
I do think cyberware is one of them, but they probably are on Amazon. iBuyPower is on Best Buy. You're
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, just like that is sketch as all hell, you know. Like, I mean, that's how I got conned into both because I have the Series X and the PS5, but that's how I got conned into it is because I had to buy bundles.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could get either one of them is I had to buy bundles. Granted, I used and or would have bought everything that came in the bundles, but at the same time, well, except for Godfall, I played that all of 2 hours. I still want
about Godfall.
So they announced an expansion for it. I'm just like, okay, I need to go back. I need to try it again. They've updated it like 100 times. They're talking about an expansion. Like, I had a couple of complaints about the original game outside of the game loop because the game loop wasn't horrendous. The boss fights were fun. Like, they went from hack and slash to like, you know, Dark Souls-esque style because of how you had to fight them. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get bored this week and go do that. You know, I've actually hopped back and like the one thing that Dark Alliance did for me is it made me appreciate Vermintide that much more, and so I've been playing Vermintide again. Like I went and got all the expansions and like unlocked all the classes. I'm just gonna play Vermintide now.
I was like the opposite of what the creators intended.
Like I said, the only way I'm going to pick Dark Alliance back up is if, you know, a group of guys goes, hey, we want a fourth. You want to join us? So the only way I'm going to pick it back up. And that's only if they let me play the character I want to play. Because that's another thing that ticks me off about it. Is there's only 4 characters to choose from. There's no build diversity. And of the 4 characters, you cannot have multiple in the same game.
Pretty lame.
So if you want to play a specific character, nobody else can pick that character. Or if somebody else is already playing that character, you've got to start a whole new character. So, like, you've got to come up with a favorites list, and everybody's favorite list is going to be the same.
Yep.
It's going to be, everybody wants to be Dritz, because Dritz. Then Brunar, because badass dwarf. And then Wolfgar, because, well, if somebody else is playing Dritz, somebody else is playing Brunar, so I'm going to be Wolfgar. And I mean, some unlucky son of a bitch has got to be Katie Bree.
Yeah, don't imagine there's too many people jumping for that one.
I saw some, like, she has a lot of utility in the fact that she's the only ranged-based character in the entire game.
Mm.
So, like, she has potential, and some of her hits are pretty good. But she's not Brunar or Dritz, which are the characters that are carrying the game. But, I mean, if you enjoy those characters, like, that series, like, the book series has been going on for, like, 25 years. So, yeah, I mean, R.A. Salvatore, he's a beast when it comes to writing that character. I think there's nearly... What'd I do?
What'd you do where? Oh, no.
Hit a button.
I don't
Did
know.
you break it?
I don't know. We're still
it
alive.
broken?
We're still good for a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I got for this week. You guys got anything you want to talk about?
I
don't
think
know.
that's pretty much it for this
Like-
week.
Are we done talking about getting PC parts?
I mean, if you want to talk about, like, if you got something to add to that, like,
I have no idea what to add to that. It's
because
just
like,
terrible.
it's just a
I
slight.
feel like it might be getting a little bit better.
I see
think.
the end on the horizon.
Yeah.
Like, they're already talking about parts starting to come back down to the normalized price. So like, I could start saving up for the new graphics card I want. I could start saving up for the CPU that I want. So I'm excited for that.
I think parts in general are coming back down, like processors and stuff. It's still hard to find one of the 5000 series i9s, but the 5000 series, like, or not i9s, but Ryzen 9s. The Ryzen 9 5000 series, those are so hard to find.
Well,
But
that came out this year, right?
Yeah, into last year, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was into last year.
Because I know they're releasing a new chip soon.
I did see that they're
Yeah.
getting ready for the Zen 4. Zen 4s, and I was just like, I saw a Ryzen 9 5900. It was on it wasn't that much of a scalper site. It was like only $40 above MSRP, but I was like, I'll risk $40. Do $40. Like most scalpers are, they're doing like 150 minimum over MSRP. But this one was only like $40. I was like, I was gonna do it. I was getting ready to do it. For some reason, I just didn't do it, and then it sold out. Like I didn't find them legitimate, even though like I did research. I'm like, no, it's pretty legitimate, and I'm like, still don't know. And then it sold out, and I was like,
Yeah, like I wanted there to be a little bit more positivity on this episode since we haven't been here for 2 weeks, but man, it was hard to find anything. Like,
terrible.
Yeah, even with all the downtime that there's still not really a whole lot going on.
Unfortunately.
I mean, like what's anything though? Because I think it's only really hard for the GPUs right now. Because I have a buddy of mine. Hey man, if you're watching the podcast later, thanks. Good luck. I've been helping him. I've been like researching like building computer parts, for him because he says he wants to start getting in that game. And like I've been building things here and there, and like even like if I build like a something 6 build from like PC Builder or on Newegg's PC Builder beta, everything's like in stock except for the GPUs, like and also the Ryzen 9s. So like the Ryzen 7s and the Ryzen 5s are there. I think the i7s and the i5s are there. I think the i9s are not. So it's just like the i9s, the Ryzen 9s, and then the GPUs are just the only things that are out of stock. Unless you want to get scalped.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, like I said, I think things are starting to turn around. Things are starting to come back. I mean, like I said, I see the end of the tunnel. It's coming. Things are going to start getting back to normal. So
I don't know, because like I mean, I think it's starting to drop off. Like, if I think all the people that were willing to be scalped have already bought up all the, have bought up, the inventory. Or whatever. Some people that I guess money is not an object to them, so they don't mind getting scalped or whatever. And all the people that don't want to pay scalper prices, and are willing to hold out, they don't see the benefit of buying the top of the line just yet. So I think it's starting to drop off. But then as soon as something new comes out, man, like if AMD drops the Zen 4 chips, or GeForce drops the 4000 series graphics cards, it's just gonna go right back to the same.
You think they're gonna drop the 4000 series this year?
I hope not, because I spent a lot of fucking money on my 3000 series. Even though I didn't get scalped, I still spent a lot of fucking money on that thing. I'm like, don't do it.
Yeah, was the 3090 was it the 3090 MSRP is what, like 680? 683?
I'm sorry. Say that again? Do you think it's $683 for a 3090? Oh no, Sauce, no. He must have lost the internet.
Oh, nope, his power went out.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, we lost Sauce, but I mean,
I want to come back to this. I mean, we were pretty much done, but I want to see please bring me your innocence when you say that the 3090 was MSRP at
Hold on.
$630. Please go back to that.
680, right? Hold on.
For the $680 for the MSRP for the 3090. Oh, sweet
Hold on,
baby.
hold on.
Sweet baby. I'm gonna let you Google it to find out because I know what it is. Just for the Founders Edition alone, I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Times 10.
Yeah.
Times 10. Hold on.
It's a pretty fucking penny, man.
Never mind. I don't know what the hell I was looking at. Maybe it's looking like a 2080 or something.
Yeah. So like with my buddy, like he's like trying to look at graphics cards, and I'm like, man, even though you can't find, I want him to get like the 3060 because he's like starting to get into it, you know. And I'm like, hey man, I think a 3060 is gonna be great for you. You're gonna have the worst time finding it, but it's gonna be the best card you can get. Plus, like the 2060s and even the 1060s are more at just their base MSRP value, even used, than the 3060. I'm like, how is that even possible? That's
What?
crazy.
Like, damn, I've got a 1060 sitting here collecting dust.
You do, yeah, like a 1060
You guys hear
MSRP, like even yeah, we hear you now, bud.
Yeah, sorry,
man.
man. Power went out. Are we still live or are we done?
Yeah, we're still live.
We're still live.
We're going to wrap it up here in a
Okay.
minute.
I think 1060s now, like brand new, are still like $500 or $600. I'm
Are
like,
they really?
dude, that's not even worth it, man. Like just
No.
hold out. Hold on, I gotta check myself now. I gotta check myself.
Called me out. I was going to call himself out.
Yeah, I have no idea where like to go because like everybody's scalping cards right now, man. You got scalpers on Newegg, you got scalpers on Amazon.
Yeah, like,
That's
I mean,
not
would
how
you
spell
drop
it.
$5,000 on an entire computer just to get your hands on a 3090?
No. So okay, so this one is sold out. I just went to Best Buy because it was like the safest thing I felt like it could do. So GTX 1060, brand new at Best Buy, is still $300, $310. You spend like another extra $80, you're getting 10 times the card with a 3090 or a 3060. Sorry, 3060.
Yeah. Save up your pennies. You know, sacrifice the now for the better later.
Yeah, it's just.
But all right, we'll go ahead and wrap up there. We'll try to come up with a little bit more positivity next week, I hope. It's like I really wanted to enjoy Dark Alliance. Like it was right up my alley on everything I like. It's a looter, it's a action RPG. A lot of people enjoy it more than Vermintide for the fact that it's third person instead of first person. But that's all it's got going for it, in my opinion. I mean, the characters, the gameplay loop is fun. E3 was kind of a letdown this year. Like, nothing significant, really.
I still think there's a few, heavy hitters, still a few good things.
Right. I mean, there's things there that will obviously,
Yeah.
do good. But there's nothing there that, like, for me personally, there's nothing there that I'm just going to be jumping on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to keep an eye on, was it Redfall? I'm going to keep an eye on Redfall. That might be up my alley.
You said that's coming to Game Pass, right?
That one I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass. Where's my notes? Notes.
Redfall. It's a Bethesda game, so that actually sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, Battlefield looked okay. But I think I'm going to spend a couple...
Ooh, you want to talk a little bit about Battlefield? Sorry, I kind of just like mixed Redfall and Battlefield. It was weird.
If you want to say something about it, go ahead. I know nothing about the franchise, so...
I played Battlefield for a long time. I remember Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2. I was number 5 in that game multiplayer for a good amount of time.
Oh,
I also
wow.
had no life. I had no life back then, so like I could spend time playing the shit out of that game just to make sure I maintain my ranking. Dude, man, I've always loved Battlefields. I've always bought Battlefields and just played them. But like this one, I'm just like, it kind of turned me off because it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
And that's it. even still, like most of the Battlefield games, I don't play the campaign. I'll play the campaign for like a little bit, a couple hours here and
Complains
there.
this game doesn't have a campaign, and then admits he doesn't play the campaign.
Right, but I mean, that's different though, man. I'm buying, like back then, it was $60. You're buying it $60 for a campaign and a multiplayer. Now I'm paying $70 just for a multiplayer, and a multiplayer that's going to be filled with bots.
Yeah, I can see that.
I wasn't about that. I mean, it looks beautiful. I love how they, in the trailer they paid homage to a lot of their, spectacular users that were doing crazy shit.
Yeah, like the jump out of the plane, rocket another guy, jump back in the plane.
I attempted that a few times. It did not work out quite as well, but came close.
Like, I don't know. I think I'm going to spend a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months, going back and playing some things I never got the chance to. Like, I'm going to finish out the campaign for Vermintide. I think I'm going to go play Titanfall 2.
Ooh, Titanfall 2 sounds good.
So, like, I never played it, and I now own, like, 4 copies of it, somehow. Like, yeah, I have it everywhere, and I don't know how. Like, I think I got it on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. Thank you, game.
That's how I am with Control. With Control, I have it on every system.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and then the free upgrades.
Yes.
So, like, I might go spend some time with Godfall, just to, complain about it again.
I feel like we talked about Godfall like a couple weeks ago.
We did. We said we're going to get together and go try it again, and honestly, I haven't turned my PlayStation on.
I can relate. Actually, no, I can't. Oh, Ratchet and Clank came out since the last time we talked, didn't
That's right, it did.
Oh, I ate the shit out of that game. That game was fucking amazing. If you're still here and you're still watching this podcast, Ratchet and Clank, a Rift Apart was fucking amazing. That game was dope as shit. I feel bad for the people that can't get PS5s because it came out on PS5s. But I mean, I guess I feel the same way about Returnal, which I also finally fully beat because like you can beat it twice, or not twice, but like there's a different ending. Not a different ending. There's another ending. I don't know. Returnal was dope. Rift Apart was also stupid dope.
That might be the first like Ratchet and Clank I actually might go pick up. So
I played Ratchet and Clank here and there for many years. I think I've beaten most of them, but like this one, I definitely had so much fun playing.
Yeah,
I was so excited. It was great. They took full advantage of that controller. Oh, so good.
If they did that, I might definitely go ahead and pick it up at some point, because I don't know. I'm at this weird spot where like all my gaming buddies are out on vacation and things like that, so like I have time to just look for things and play things. So
well, I'm surprised you never played Returnal because you were talking about like Dark Souls and stuff earlier, right?
I'm not a big fan of that style of game. I'm not a big. I am really not a fan of roguelikes.
Yeah, I guess I
was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that you're a huge fan of Soul-like games and roguelike games like many weeks ago, but I thought like during this quick session.
I am curious about them, and I love watching like speed runs and playthroughs of like Dark Souls. And like Returnal looks fun as hell. Like I watched the guy beat the entire game in 5 minutes.
You beat the game in 5 minutes? How?
Yeah. Look up Returnal speed run.
Lucky and get those good runs.
I mean, yeah, man, speedrunners. I don't know how you do that.
Like it was like he beat the entire game with just the pistol. Like, go check it out. It's insane. But like watching somebody play like that, and knowing that my old arthritis hands are never going to be able to accomplish that, it kind of like puts a little damper on that lid.
You would have to get so lucky to just beat it in 5 minutes, like, unless you just found like glitches where you can just like zip through the map.
Oh,
I mean, of course, speedrunners know that shit. They can do that.
This guy knew every single tile and where it went. Like
I feel like you would have to get lucky because like sometimes like when you get a map layout, it could either like be the next room, which is where you have to go, to like another gateway, or the gateway could be on the other side of the map, and you have to go through so many different rooms
Yeah.
just to get there.
Look it up, man. Look, there's a guy who did it insanely fast. But yeah, so I mean, I have some catching up to do on some of the exclusives. Like, a part of me wants to pick up, what is that? Not Dark Souls. They just did the Demon Souls.
Yeah.
So like, a part of me wants to pick that up because why not? Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Soul style, but
I still played it. It was pretty good.
Well, I mean, it's what's popular, you know, battle royales and Dark Souls and roguelikes, and it's just like that. Those aren't my niches, but if that's the only thing that gaming is going to be for a while,
it's weird to find out that they're popular. I mean, like battle royales, I get, you know, but like, I've never seen too many positive comments about roguelike games.
Yeah.
Everyone usually just hates it, like, oh, it's too hard, there's no save points. You know, I play forever and then all of a sudden I die and I lose everything. Of course,
which
I'm
is
one of those
funny,
people complaining, but like, I mean, I don't.
Because nobody wants a challenge.
Complain publicly.
But here's the funny part though, is from like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all of those. That's how the games were. Like, you shut the game off, you're starting over when you put it back on.
Right. But also, games weren't as long.
They were, no.
A little bit of a callback to the past.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, retro is in, you know, even if they put a new skin on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, it's like, if this is what gaming is going to be for a while and I want to find something new, I'm just going to have to learn to adapt to it.
So, I don't mind games like that. Like, I mean, I had so much fun playing Returnal. You know, died plenty of times, of course, I get mad at it, and so on and so forth. I still think they should, you know, keep, you know, that base feature in play, but like add maybe like an easier difficulty at sometimes for, you know, for the people that want to play the game and experience the game, but like, you know, they don't have to restart from zero every time they die.
I don't know. The one thing that's interesting though is that a lot of those types of games aren't really the one thing that weirds me about the popularity of these style of games is they're not accessible to everybody. Not everybody has that hand-eye coordination or the dexterity to be able to play those games consistently like that. Mm-hmm. So
this is true, but I feel like those games still deserve to exist for the people that want them, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not saying don't get rid of them.
Right, but it's just like, or, you know, are they popular because of how hard they are? You know?
Some of it is, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole philosophical debate behind that, but...
Well, when it comes to difficulty in particular with the Souls games, I think there's an argument that some people will make where they say the game is just hard for the sake of being hard, but I think if you really play the games and understand the mechanics, yes, it is difficult, but it's not impossible. I mean, if you just take your time and just learn your enemy movements, learn how your own attacks work, just, you know, like you would in real life, just learn how to go about, you know, a difficult task that's greater than you. And yeah, dying is kind of the point because that's the only way you're going to learn how to actually get through some of these things. You know what, though?
So I'll argue that you have a great point with, like, you know, once you learn the mechanics, once you learn your enemy's pattern, you know, it becomes a lot easier. You know, it's just you know, trying to learn it. So then I will also counter with that because, like, there was points at, you know, like in Returnal, for example, where I just started getting so mad, and like I was just trying to run through, just get to my enemy and get to the boss, and like, you know, just trying to kill him, and like I didn't fight him, or I didn't fight the boss enough times or survive long enough to where I could learn his patterns. I would end up dying, and then I would have to fight my way back through all these enemies again, you know, almost mentally tire myself out just to get back to the boss, and then fight the boss. I'm almost mentally drained and extremely frustrated.
It is
like, even if I just take like a little tick of damage, I'm like, fuck, I don't have full health. I'm pissed. I'm pissed as fuck because I don't have full health now.
Okay,
to the boss.
I will say this though, in defense of this style of game, extreme sense of, or the extreme dose of dopamine that you get when you finally beat something that's been kicking your ass for a couple hours has got to be intense.
Pretty great. It's pretty great. I won't lie.
Like,
know your place, trash.
like, because like I've been in this
situation.
bragging
like, rights too.
Yeah, because like when though while those moments are few and far between for like certain things that I play, but when you finally like working on like a new raid boss in WoW, like when you finally drop that boss, like it's flip the keyboard, cheer, like Discord's going nuts. So
yeah.
I can totally see that. Which
I think the other thing that some people forget about the Souls games is like they're touted as like single player games mostly, but you can play multiplayer and you can actually coordinate with people and make the game easier for yourself by teaming up with people and getting through the game like that. Because I mean, if I'm being totally honest, that's usually how I beat those games. I'm not great at those games to the point where I can beat it all by myself. I mean, some stuff I can, but it's still a challenge. But usually I beat those games because I team up with other people. And there's plenty of people out there that are just waiting to help you out. But there's also just as many people who are waiting to invade your world and fuck your shit up and make your life a living hell.
That's what I'm thinking about. So I knew the Souls games had a multiplayer feature, like you could enter somebody else's world and you can just destroy them. I didn't know there was more of a co-op feature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It has a lot of layers to it. It's really a super interesting game for anyone who wants to get into the mechanics of it, but that's what turns a lot of people off. It's really complex and it's not straightforward, and the game doesn't tell you any of this stuff unless you know somebody like myself who's telling you right now.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I've played every Soul game. I played it for hours, but like I never got far enough to like to understand mechanics like that.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
It's understandable though.
The whole players being dicks, like, just reminded me, like, I started playing Sea of Thieves just for something to do. And I finally, like, I played probably a good solid 10 hours, 12 hours, but without ever seeing another player. Like, I finally, like, I come to a port town, and I finally see another player. Like, they're docked on they're docked. And I'm like, oh, they have this giant, massive ship. There was a whole crew of them. And I just wanted to go over and just see the ship. And apparently it's got like area vocals. So like if you're within a certain distance, you can hear them talking. And I heard someone say, hey, there's somebody on the dock. Before they finish the word dock, they sniped me. That was my first experience with another player in that game. I'm just like, okay.
That's pretty friendly.
All right. I see how it's going to be.
I want to play Sea of Thieves.
Pirate life.
You want to play? You want to play Sea of Thieves?
I'll play it. I'll download it. I'll see it. It's still on PC Game Pass, right? I think it is.
I think so. Yeah, because it's crossplay. It's crossplay everywhere, but with Sony.
Here we go. I think it's an Xbox exclusive.
I think you're right.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah, so it never had a time on PlayStation.
No, it is not on Game Pass for PC anymore.
Oh, it was on there like 2 days ago. I remember seeing it. They must have just got rid of it.
Or they just put it back. Because I know it left for a couple of months, but it is on console.
There's this expansion. There's a Sea of Thieves expansion. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, it's still here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up because Solve's got plans.
I gotta get ready to run somewhere.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching. Hope you had a good time. Sorry this was a bitch fest, but it's what we got to do sometimes.
Yeah, I like to complain, man. You don't know me like that? I just love complaining. Even the thing about the things I love, I just complain about the things I love.
Right?
Yeah.
We complain because we want it to be better.
Yes. So passionate.
Exactly.
So passionate. Just gotta complain.
We are the fandom menace. But All right. Yeah. Hope everybody had a good time. We'll see